Hey everybody out there, it's Pastor John with your Midweek Reflection. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but I'm going to leave the what are you thankful for question to you, for you to figure out, because this coming Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent, and we're going to be beginning a new series called Fulfilled, How Christmas Brings Prophecy to Life, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really interesting, but the thing is, we have to get past interesting, because sermons and worship is supposed to be more than interesting. It's supposed to be how is God speaking to us and transforming us, and what is God doing in our lives and calling us. And so what we're going to be doing is looking at prophecy, specifically in Matthew's Gospel. At the beginning of Matthew's Gospel, Matthew talks about how Jesus fulfills a number of prophecies and how in his coming. And so we're going to ask, what does it mean for Jesus to fulfill these prophecies? My hunch is that what the prophets are doing in the Old Testament is way more complex and profound than how we usually think about prophecy. And how Jesus fulfills those prophecies is way more complex and profound than we're often used to thinking about it. And so we're going to be looking into that. The first one this week is the Immanuel promise in Isaiah 7. And so Isaiah the prophet promises Immanuel. And Matthew says Jesus fulfills that prophecy. And we're going to be looking at how does Jesus fulfill this Immanuel prophecy and promise. Now, as I said, I think the answer to that question might be a little different than we might expect. I think many of us expect Immanuel and hear Immanuel as a very comforting prophecy. And I think in many ways Immanuel can be a very comforting promise that God has made to us. But I would suggest that perhaps more than being about being comforting, Immanuel is compelling to us. God is saying something very important, and so the question for us is, if God is truly with us through Jesus and through the Spirit of Christ now, if God is truly with us, what is the appropriate, the natural response to God's presence with us, if that's true? So that's a tough one. I wonder if sometimes we theologically and practically take God with us for granted. Whereas if God were truly with us, how would we live? How would we respond? How would we be compelled by the presence of God? So those are some questions to be thinking about in preparation for Sunday. As always, I look forward to worshiping with you as we live the gospel life together. And until then, may God bless you and have a happy Thanksgiving.